Hello, lovelies. I hope you are doing awesome. I have not done a video, and I I feel shame about this, but I've not done a video in a very long time. And if there are any excuses to be had, I feel like I would qualify. I told you that my wife lost her dad over the holidays, and then shortly after that, we had to put down her little. We had 3 dogs, and now we're down to 1. And it's so funny because the one that is left, was the one I was hoping would go first. He's a little shit, but that's the way life works, isn't it? Maybe there's something I'm supposed to learn from that dog that I would much prefer to punt from the 30-yard line. I'm just kidding. All of you animal lovers, don't freak out. It's a joke. It's funny. So anyway, and then my wife's mother got sick almost immediately, and we have been in and out of the emergency rooms over the last month and a half, 5 or 6 times. It was scary. Her blood pressure was all out of whack, and she fell and didn't remember falling, so she had a traumatic brain injury, and so it was just a lot going on. And she lives out in Leapers Fork, and so we basically moved out there. We've been out there for a considerable amount of time, and the internet out there is not great. So I had to come to my house the first time. I've been here in weeks, really, and I thought while I was here I would try to do a quick video before I head back to Leapers Fork and kind of get back into it. For those of you that are concerned, she finally has turned a corner, and things seem to be leveling off, and she is slowly but progressively getting better. There was a time where she couldn't do anything, and now she can get around the house pretty good. She was on a walker for a little while, and I think we have this in common. She does not like a walker. She does not want to be aided. I lost my leg when I was 14, and I never liked the idea of having to be aided. I wanted to walk upright like a man, even to the point that, if I wake up in the middle of the night, when I was younger, I would just hop to the bathroom, but then I got to this place where I wanted to walk upright like a man, so I will put on my gear and walk. So anyway, that's enough about all that. But anyway, so we've been extremely busy, and some of you I know about that because we've been getting emails and messages that we are in your thoughts and in your prayers, and we really do covet those, and we are very grateful for those of you that have reached out. And to those of you that did not know anything about that, I just want to say thank you for your patience, for not giving up on me on Patreon, because you help a lot, and that's why I feel so much embarrassment and shame when I don't give you anything for for the financial investment that you make. I just feel like a piece of crap. And you're always so nice about it, and you just say the nicest things when I come in here groveling about not making videos. So anyway, that said, things started getting a little bit better, so I have been trying to write a little bit. The whole thing with my tongue has been such a uphill battle. I can't remember the last time that I picked up my guitar and just played it for fun, and that's sad, really. So my brain is so complex and layered that I don't know, maybe some of you are like this, but I have to play games as if I am outsmarting my brain. And I've been acting semi-retired as an artist and writer, outside of an occasional, video or whatever. And so I've been trying to write a little bit, which forces me to go and partake in the creative process. I'm not actively pursuing co-writes, but the deal that I made with the committee, the voices, is that when people from town, Music Row, ask me, I try to say yes if I can. So there's been a handful of co-writes. I kind of, I'm having to write with people that can sing because I don't feel comfortable with that part. So it's been a learning curve to. Usually my process is I'm very heavy-handed, and I'm playing guitar and I'm singing and la-laing, and I call it driving. I'm driving because I'm holding the guitar and I'm taking us there. So it's been really interesting to step away from that and let somebody else drive, and me just kind of help them sort their thoughts instead of them helping me sort mine. I did write with Marty Stuart a couple days ago. That was amazing. I've kept up with his career for a very long time. He's a Mississippi boy, as am I, so we talked about Mississippi and we talked about country music, and he had some of the best stories about, the ones that I grew up listening to, Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash, and we just had a time, and we wrote a pretty good song. But the conversation was what I cherished the most from that day, and I think we're going to do some more of it because it was a great day, and I loved the conversation. I got to hold Merle Haggard's guitar. Those of you that know me, that was a lifetime achievement, holding Merle Haggard's guitar. It was so frustrating because I'm left-handed and I'm holding a right-handed guitar. Not that I could do any big riffs anyway, because I'm a mediocre guitar player at best, but by God, I held it and hugged it, and that was a real treat. And he told me a great Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard story. Maybe one day I'll tell you that story. It was, I already loved those guys. It just made me love them more. So anyway, that's enough about me. I here on Patreon, I have some people that I do songwriting mentorship with, and I enjoy it. And they go from, the bottom rung. I've had people that had never written a song in their life, and they just kind of wanted to learn how to structure a song and try to get rid of the clutter and the chaos and find out what's important and map your way to what the song is trying to be. I've always been real big on the song is king, and the song dictates what it's going to be, and you just need to be a willing hand to hold the pen, the proverbial pen, as it were. And then I have some that are quite good at it, and sometimes I feel unqualified to. At that point, really, all I'm doing is giving an opinion. I like this, I don't like that, and music is so subjective that I don't know how much value is in that, but I have to put myself in their shoes. I would, if I had a chance to, like Merle Haggard, if I had a chance to sit with him and talk about songwriting, I would pay just about any amount of money for that opportunity. So I try to, as unqualified as I feel, I try to put myself in their place. Well, maybe, they obviously love my songs and songwriting enough to want to hear what I have to say about him, so I try not to disqualify myself on that level. But and there's a young man named Dominic that I've been helping, and he brought up during one of our sessions, he said, you know, I watch your YouTube videos and the Patreon videos, and he asked, had I ever considered talking about the song Wide Open. He loves that song, so I thought that's what I would do today, so this is for you, Dominic. This young man, my publisher at the time, I was writing for Cobalt, and they set up this co-write. And this charming young man, at least half my age, if not more, enthusiastic, loved life, loved being alive, total optimist, had his whole world in front of him, talented, and everything, you know, that made me want to hate him, he had it all. And I don't consider myself a pessimist, but I do consider myself a realist. And he was so optimistic, and he came just bubbling in the door. And there for a few minutes, I really had to check my heart, because I was like, man, this guy's, it's just too much. It's optimism overload. But I finally settled into it, and said, well, if we did a song like that, if we found a way to, you know, to put some humanity and to put some realism in it, that could actually work. But so it's not all optimism, but it's, you know, all the things that help you move forward. And I remember once we started, again, back to me driving, I picked up the guitar, and I remember I started doing this. And then I started channeling my inner Tony Lane, you know, bum, 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 bum. The way that the syllables land on that beat, so it's a little rhythmic. It's almost like it's almost like a rhythm instead of a melody. And which Tony Lane is a master of doing that. So anyway, next thing you know, 3, 4, 5 hours later, we had a song. And so, and I'll go over the lyrics here in a minute. I imagine I have not listened to this. I obsess over songs. When I'm making a record, I obsess over them. Every syllable, every note played. And then once I'm through, I never listen to it again. I move on to the next thing. So I've not listened to this in a very long time, and I'm sure I'll have some thoughts after we listen. But anyway, Wide Open. There's a road that'll take you right out of this town, a song that you never want to turn back down, an endless sky running out of ground, wide open. There's gonna be those things you never said before, an Arizona wind on a canyon floor, like the eyes of a child in a candy store, wide open. I love that line. Breathe, breathe, fill your lungs with better air. Reach, reach, like you know it's waiting there. I
you're holding leaves your heart and arms a little more wide open. But there's a hope in a mother that the war won't kill. A high that you're never gonna find in a pill.
That's right.
So take a long look around from the top of the hill, wide open. Breathe, breathe, fill your lungs with better air. Reach, reach, like you know it's waiting there. I found letting go of what you're holding leaves your heart and arms a little more wide open. Breathe, breathe, fill your lungs with better air. Reach, reach, like you know it's waiting there. I found letting go of what you're holding leaves your heart and arms a little more.
I love this.
Just leave your heart and arms a little more wide open. Wide open. Leave your heart and arms wide open. Leave your heart and arms.
Yeah, man. That's pretty great. My work iPad is at the other house, so let me see if I can find these lyrics real quick. As you know, this is as important as anything on these songs. This was written in 2011, by the way, and I got sober in 2010, so that's where a lot of this stuff came from, I'm sure. There's a road that'll take you right out of this town. Everybody wants that, don't they? You know, to get out of the headspace that they're in. And it seems like we always have this hatred for where we're at, and then for me, I ran, and I wound up being everywhere I was at, and that was the problem. There's a song that you never want to turn back down. An endless sky running out of ground, wide open. It's going to be those things you never said before. An Arizona wind on a canyon floor. I love this, like the eyes of a child in a candy store, wide open. Breathe, breathe. Fill your lungs with better air. Reach, reach, like you know it's waiting there. I've found letting go of what you're holding leaves your heart and arms a little more wide open. What a profound statement. There's a hope in a mother that the war won't kill. There's a high that you're never going to find in a pill. Take a long look around from the top of the hill, wide open. Breathe, breathe, fill your lungs with better air. Reach, reach, like you know it's waiting there. Reach, like you know it's waiting there. It's like those, Indiana Jones, where the bridge was there and the guy had to take the step, not being able to see the bridge. And I think faith is an awful lot of like that too. You know, I think it was David in the Psalm said, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet." So, and they would tie the candles on their feet, and so you could only see as far as your next step. And I think there's really something beautiful and profound about that. Sometimes you have to reach like you know it's waiting there, but you don't, but you have to act like it is. I found letting go of what you're holding leaves your heart and arms a little more wide open. And then at the end, so it goes from this kind of philosophical to an encouragement, right? So leave your heart and arms a little more wide open. Anyway, I love this song. I've not listened to it in a very long time. And with all of the things that have been going on, it certainly would not do my heart any damage to, leave some room for some positivity and some optimism. So Steve Moakler is the same guy that I wrote Riser with. I had that idea, and I contacted him because of his optimism, because I was afraid with a song like Riser. I wanted to talk about my getting sober and talk about overcoming, but I knew that mine would be a kind of a dark twist on that, and I needed his optimism to balance it out. And I'm glad I did, because that wound up being a great song and a great gift to humanity, honestly, that I just had a small part in writing. So, yeah, so I guess that's about that. I've been really thinking a lot about the power of words. I feel like sometimes I complain because I'm so comfortable hearing myself complain. I can always find something to bitch about. And so the power of words, the reaching, like it's going to be there, the speaking word, the power of life and death is in the tongue. And I've really been thinking about what you put out into the world. It's what comes back at you. And so, it's like a dog in a corner. You can only kick them so much, and they finally just kind of break. And so, when you're going through a hard time, like we've been going through for, seems like years now, it can get to the point that it's so overwhelming that you just don't think that you can take anymore. And that's the time when you have a choice to make, and it's a very difficult choice. And the choice is, because we get so little control in this life, and we usually focus all of our attention on things that we cannot control. But the one thing that we can control is how we respond to what life throws at us. And so, even little things like, I just feel awful, I just feel terrible. I'm trying not to even say that. I won't lie and go, I feel great, because I hadn't felt great in a real long time. But I do feel like things are getting better. So maybe I can kind of meet the universe there, And so that's kind of where my head's at. But I'm definitely trying to not. I'm not expecting another bad thing to happen. I'm expecting something good to happen. Yeah. So anyway, that's a little insight into where my head's at. And anyway, if you are going through a hard time, don't give up. Hang in there and look for the good things. I talk about it all the time, but gratitude is a superpower, because it can change the world. It doesn't literally change the world, but it changes the world from your perspective if you put on the gratitude lenses. And thus, if it looks different, then it is different, right? So anyway, 25 minutes, I think that's long enough. I always feel I just don't want to go too long, because I want to treat your time like it's important. So with that, I will sign off and say thank you very much, and I love you very much. And you will never know how much you mean to me. Even sitting in this chair right now, saying these words, my heart is full. If someone were to walk in right now, they would think I'm crazy because I'm just talking to an iPad and a microphone, and it looks pretty goofy. But I can see on the other side of it. I can see human faces there, and I know you'll be there. Reach like you know it's waiting there. I know you're going to be there, and I know you're going to hear it, and some of you hopefully need to hear it, and you find some benefit in it. So, and that is what makes life worth getting up and trying again every day. It gets so hard sometimes, but it's like a Groundhog Day horror movie, but we don't give up. We keep getting up and we keep trying again, and then we share our experiences and strength and hope, knowing that maybe somebody else has gone through a difficult time or is going through a difficult time now, and they can benefit from hearing you talking about your experience, and know that they're not alone, because that's about as bad a feeling as you can have, feeling like you're all alone in this world, and your problems are unique to yourself, and usually that is not the case at all, because suffering and hard times touch us all. So live your life like it's wide open, and go out there and make something great happen today, okay? I love you, my lovelies.